All right, glad you're with us. 263 days. You are the ultimate jury. You get to decide. You can shock the world. I think what I'm about to say may surprise many of you, and I hope I have built up enough credibility with the vindication in the IG report and everything we told you about Hillary Clinton, the Espionage Act, her obstruction, subpoenaed emails that were deleted and bleach-bitten hammers and so on and so forth. How we were right on the dirty Russian dossier, funneled money through a law firm to an op research firm, hiring a former MI6 guy by the name of Christopher Steele. All happened. The media mob and the Democrats never paid any attention to the real Russian election interference, and that was Hillary's bought and paid for dirty Russian dossier full of lies. And then I hope I built up some credibility also with you being vindicated again by the Inspector General report, and that dirty dossier that we now know is not only unverifiable because Christopher Steele, who put it together, it's his dirty dossier, didn't stand by his own dossier. I have no idea if any of it's true. But that dossier was still leaked by the corrupt media, conspiracy theorists like Michael Isikoff, David Korn, etc. Why was it leaked before the election to influence the election? I was right when I kept saying this premeditated fraud on a FISA court, and they used the bulk of information was Hillary's bought and paid for dirty dossier. That all was verified now. It's now fact. The mob and the media, the Democrats, they went with Trump-Russia collusion, Trump-Russia collusion, Russia collusion, Russia. They have been proven, all of them, to be liars. They've all been proven wrong. And they were wrong on, they took on breathtaking hypocrisy on the Ukraine issue because we have quid pro quo Joe. You're not getting the billion unless you fire the prosecutor investigating my zero-experience son being paid millions and will continue to be paid millions, which happened. All of that was true. And I think it's part of the reason everything has happened. Like all of you, there's a lot of things that has happened this week. And what I have, after my anger passed today, and I was angry at the news, the declination statement released by the attorneys for Andrew McCabe. The same Andrew McCabe that said to, not General Flynn, oh, no, you don't need an attorney. Working with Comey, who said, oh, I did something I'd never do or get away with, and I sent my guys in on day 4 of the Trump administration. They set up a 33-year veteran of our armed services, not 33-year-old. And General Flynn lost his house. And General Flynn has now lived 3 years, him and his family, of pure hell. And I think that's coming to an end. Let me step back. So I see this declination release that they got a phone call from the D.C. U.S. Attorney's Office, followed by a letter from the Justice Department's criminal investigation of Andrew McCabe. Now, this declination is very, very specific. And that has to do with him lying, and that no charges are going to be brought as it relates to this aspect of his case. Now, you go to the February 2018 IG report. They cite on page 2 twice that Andrew McCabe lacked candor, in other words, lying, when he told Comey or made statements that led Comey to believe that he did not authorize the disclosure of information in the Wall Street Journal. That, quote, McCabe lacked candor when he told agents he didn't authorize the disclosure to the Wall Street Journal. That when questioned under oath by the OIG in a recorded interview, McCabe, quote, lacked candor on a number of other issues. Page 22, McCabe lacked candor. I won't go into all the details, but the point is, well, lacking candor is exactly what's happening. Okay, they got it with Manafort, Cohn, and General Flynn. They didn't even think he was lying. They actually made General Flynn lie to when they didn't think he lied, so that they'd stop putting all this pressure on him and threatening his own children. That's how sick some of these people are. Everything that we've been telling you has been proven correct. Now, the Inspector General, go back now. We waited for the report. We got the report. We know what the findings are. Top takeaways, the FISA applications, numerous factual errors, omissions. They failed to vet the information. We now know it's debunked. It was unverifiable. We know that Kathleen Kavlak warned the FBI and DOJ, don't trust Christopher Steele. We know that Bruce Orr warned them in August of 2016 that the dossier was not verified, that Steele had an anti-Trump agenda, and that Hillary paid for it. They never told the FISA court in their application any of these things. Numerous serious performance failures. Now, we've also since had the Attorney General Barr state that a candidate and a transition team and deep into the Trump presidency, his words, were spied on. He used the word spied. And then just 2 weeks ago, specifically citing the renewal warrants for FISA, that they were obtained under false pretenses. Now, what I see going on here, when I let the anger subside, which was not particularly easy for me today, because what do I keep warning about? Equal justice under the law is at stake here. We can't have a dual justice system or the Constitution shredded. Equal application of our laws. And like many of you, how does Hillary get away with deleting subpoenaed emails and cleaning up our hard drive? You mean like with a cloth? No, with bleach pit. You acid wash the thing. So they forensically can't see that you deleted that which was subpoenaed. And then to make triply sure, and they busting up devices and then removing SIM cards. It all happened. If any of us did that, we'd go to jail. That's why I'm so mad. But I'm standing back here, and I'm getting a broader view of the horizon. And what else happened this week? Well, the Attorney General took a pretty unprecedented step and said, no, you're not getting away with this 9-month recommended jail term for Roger Stone. Well, Roger Stone processed crimes. He lied to Congress. He lied to investigators. Okay, well, as we pointed out yesterday, the average murderer in the country, you murder somebody, if you want to use the latest years that we have, you're only getting about, 13.4 years median time spent in jail. That's it. That is it. And then we see, what else did the Attorney General do? So he stepped in there and he said that's a crock. And then you have 4 people resign from the Justice Department. Now stay with me here. There's a lot of moving parts to this. Because, and I know we want justice to move more quickly and more expeditiously and so on and so forth. What's at stake here is real. It's our entire constitutional system of justice, equal justice under the law, equal application of our laws. We can't have a dual justice system. By the way, the chief law enforcement officer in the country, do you know who it is? It is the president. The president of the United States. The president has the power and authority. He can walk into the Justice Department and say, I want you to investigate this, and this. The president hasn't done that. Now, when the Attorney General Barr said, I wish the president wouldn't comment on these things, he's never asked me to do anything, but when he's commenting publicly, it makes my job almost impossible. Well, I think now we're beginning to understand what's happening. Enough crumbs are being dropped here. I think the declination is in the end minor, small ball. That's not where the Attorney General and John Durham are. And you might say, Hannity, what if you're wrong? Well, if I'm wrong, I'll come on this program and admit it, unlike the rest of the media mob. But I don't think I am, because something else has happened today. And that is the Attorney General also has installed an outside prosecutor to review the case against General Flynn. You know how I interpret that? Is General Flynn's going to be vindicated. That what they have done to him is going to end. How do I know that? I don't. I'm surmising it. I'm looking at a chessboard, and look. You play chess. You got to look 5 moves ahead. And if you're a great chess player, you move and you have every step ahead. You know, if they do that, I'm going there. They do this, I'm going here. And then eventually checkmate. And I think what we have here is there is something massive that is underway that we don't know about. The only thing I can say is the same sources, many of them, that me and my investigative team had used to expose all the stuff about Hillary, the Espionage Act, the deleted emails, the dirty dossier, premeditated fraud, the FISA applications, it's spying on the presidential candidate, transition team, and presidency, outsourcing of spying abroad to allied countries to circumvent American laws. All of this is coming out, is my prediction. It is going to be such a shock to the system of deep state corruption and abuse of power that it will ultimately, we will get the justice that is warranted. Because all we see are conservatives. I was saying this on TV last night. I mean, you better be careful, because if you're a conservative, you got to need to understand something here. That apparently in America, only conservatives get prosecuted, because these deep state operatives have not been held to account to this point. And we hear, declination letter on McCabe. Great. Well, Inspector General said he lied. All these other people got put in jail for lying. And it infuriates me even saying it. But I think something bigger is in play. I'm being told by people that I trust that something bigger is in play. I don't know what it is. I think what the Attorney General is trying to say is, I am independent and I'm not going to listen to any political sides. And from his point of view, he needs to do that. He's not wrong to do that. And I think these moves that we're now beginning to see, coupled with the little crumbs that he's been dropping, show that something horribly has gone wrong, and they now know it, and they believe it, and that they've got to dot every I and cross every T. That's where I think we are. If I'm wrong, then we're screwed, because that means that our Constitution could be shredded. I don't think I am. What's the likelihood, Hannity? I don't know. I'm pretty confident. I would say cautiously optimistic, because I've never been burned by the people that I've trusted for 3 years to get the story right for everybody. And it's not just me, it's our people behind the scenes that work in radio and TV. Everybody's been killing themselves for 3 years to get it right while everyone else got it wrong. And so I feel good about that part. I don't think I'm explaining it as well as I want to. I'll give you an example. Washington Examiner has a piece out about John Durham today, and I don't think it's a coincidence that while they haven't yet found anything to quite tie this together, they report today that, in fact, they're reviewing John Brennan and his analysis of election interference with Russia, including the Obama CIA director's handling of a secret source said to be close to the Kremlin. And Durham is investigating whether Brennan's CIA was attempting to keep other agencies in the dark as they push for a specific preconceived analytic assessment about Russia's true intentions. Now, we now know, the New York Times even concluded the dirty dossier was likely Russian misinformation from the beginning. That's another crumb. Now, is it at the pace and the speed that any of us like? No, it's frustrating as hell, to be honest. But I think I'm right.